Did you hear about the BPF Andrew versus Matt Dillahunty modern day debate clip where Matt leaves after BPF's vial opening?
Thanks so much, James, and thanks, Andrew, for being here, and all of you for showing up. Humanism has as its focus the betterment of humanity in this life, while Christianity has as its focus adherence to a God and the disposition of souls in an manifestos. There are human fiat, I have to say, about you don't get to practice it, and an I would like for the common.
God damn, the opening statement.
Good. If you have an objection to that or a better goal.
Appreciate that very much. Appreciate everybody being here. All of you are way too stodgy in this room. Very low energy. Just wanted to let all of you know that. Ladies and gentlemen of all pronouns, the Z's, the Zers, the hims, and hers, I would like...
Oh, I can't listen to this guy for like 5 minutes. Hold on. Let me skip to the part where he leaves.
Reproducing is the worst possible thing for human flourishing, because if there's no humans, how do you flourish? So, I guess, in essence, step one, I remain unconvinced.
For those who don't know, this is the guy who said he wants to raise the birth rates. And I was like, okay, what about these policies that have been objectively found to raise the birth rates? And he was like, no, we can't do that. We actually need a Christian ethno-state. We actually need to do neo-Nazism. This is that guy.
Step two, I need to be convinced, so I am no longer unconvinced. And step three, but God not real dough doesn't matter here. I've already granted it to still demonstrate just how stupid this ideology actually is. With that, I'll yield my time, and I'm happy to get into it.
Hey, James, I just sent you a message.
All right. We are going to kick it into an open discussion, so 50 minutes, and let's kick it.
No, I don't think so. I'm not going to sit here and dignify the preparation that I went through and what people were here for.
You're so indignant.
Keep interrupting me.
I am.
Okay.
You're so indignant.
Would the moderator like to step in so that I can finish?
It's true. Like the only engagement that I had with BPF while I was talking to him was the fact that I could insult him. Matt Dillahunty just should not be here. You know, it's such a waste of Matt's time for him to even be in the same room as Andrew. Honestly.
Oh, please, Matt. How dare someone have an opposing worldview?
I'm not going to sit here and dignify what was supposed to be a debate about Christianity versus secular humanism, which one's better for the world.
Yes.
With someone who clearly showed up with an agenda that has nothing to do with that. Someone who refers to trans people as deranged lunatics who will self-terminate if you dare to question them.
How am I wrong, Matt?
Someone who misrepresents a quote from a debate where I said I wouldn't make a law about 9-year-olds having sex being legal with respect to the 9-year-olds, not that I was in any way in favor of it and that I was actually opposed to it, which I addressed during that debate. But moreover, this is not remotely an honest interaction.
How do you even debate Andrew? He's insanely smug and self-righteous. Again, I literally, of all the debates I've had, I've never had one where I had to shout over the other person to read out loud the words of the study where the study was saying it did the thing that the debate was about while he loudly denied that was real. That's never happened to me. I've never had a debate on that level. So yeah, it's pretty wacky. Remember when I was talking to him and I had like a 2-minute spiel where I talked about like specific policies and ways to address the birth rate, but I opened that spiel with I think good things are good, and then when I was done, he ignored everything that I said and he said, "So you said good things are good. I want to talk about that." And it's not just that he acts in bad faith, it's that he's not smart enough to disguise the fact that he's acting in bad faith deliberately. So when you talk to him, there is not even a slight doubt that he's just looking for excuses to throw the conversation. It's a waste of Matt's time. At least in my case, like I enjoy insulting stupid people, but you know, maybe he's acting good. No, he's not. He's deliberately lying.
On the front of whether or not secular humanism is valuable, because this, when he presented his position here, has nothing to do with secular
humanism. Andrew didn't even talk about the debate subject. He didn't with me either. Yeah, he didn't even talk about birth rates. It was supposed to be about birth rates, and was like, oh, so this is why we need a Nazi society. Actually, yeah, it's a waste of Matt's time.
Humanism. From the get-go, it's all about me.
The bald guy is Matt.
Matt thinks. I'm giving what Matt thinks. What Matt thinks. What Matt thinks.
It's Matt's position.
I came in with the Secular Humanist Manifesto. I came in with positions that aren't
your
just
positions.
that aren't merely my positions.
Oh, well, as long as multiple people hold the position, it
This
makes it
guy's
valid.
not serious, and I'm leaving. James, if you want a refund, you
Well,
let me know.
good day, sir. And I'll cover your refund, Mr. Matt.
See, so another good way of telling that Andrew doesn't actually care about the conversation and he's purely here to waste time is that if you're acting in good faith when your opponent is leaving off indignation, this is never how you would act. Like, you would be frustrated that they're unwilling to engage with your points, or you would accuse them of, like, not having answers to your arguments, or you would say, like, no, I just want an answer to this or whatever. But because he's not actually here to say or do anything other than just fill space, like, it doesn't matter to him. Like, it's like this is an equal outcome to anything else. Like, just because he didn't get the opportunity to make his arguments doesn't matter because he didn't have any. So, you know, this is what I mean when I say it's so difficult to get good debates these days. You can look at literally any debate-oriented channel or circuit. Dude, it is like an actual trash fire these days, man. Holy shit. It's like all debate online went through a centrifuge and you went out in two directions. You either like the slimiest, most worthless like debate goblin who doesn't care about anything other than getting clicks or attention, or on the other hand, somebody who understands that like the only way they could get debates is by engaging with the aforementioned debate goblins. Very, very difficult. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Modern day debates needs to do a better job getting better debaters. No, that's the thing. I feel bad for James. He can't. Vosh, would you also shut down discussions like this in the future too? This is why I don't like moderated debates, because if I'm talking to a retard, I don't want to dignify the retard by giving them the pomp and circumstance of like a 2-hour discussion that's being moderated by somebody who's trying to keep the reins on like an ostensibly good faith debate. You know what I mean? Like that. It's like having some like purported intellectual framework superimposed over the hard toilet shit fight. It makes the whole thing that much worse. You know, if you're just having somebody on and like insulting them or whatever, like that's fine. But you know, that's its own thing. But yeah, it's not really James' fault. It's just the problem is like it's just really like dry out there. You know, the right doesn't like engaging in debate anymore because the right knows there's no way to logically defend their positions. There was a point in time back in like 2015, 2016, 2017, and a little bit onward, I think, where the right had this big like the right had the image, like the impression of being able to debate better than the left. So they were really interested in performatively debating as a way of showing they were more capable of engaging in confrontational disagreements than the left was. But then when the left started debating more, the right realized it's actually really bad at it. And as a consequence of that, they've dried up. Basically, every large right-leaning channel that used to make their name on debates either doesn't do them anymore or only does them in curated environments with college students because they know for a fact that they would lose in direct engagements with their equals. So they don't do it anymore. Even like conservative YouTube channels that aren't huge but are like moderate sized have mostly shored up their walls and just don't do it anymore. You know, they're getting worse over time with college students as well. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. So what, the only thing we can say to them is to make them embarrassed to even exist in the first place? Again, I don't think there's anything wrong with having debates with retards, obviously. However, there are some types of so there are usually like there are two things that will make me just flat out not want to have a debate with somebody, okay? One of them is the belief that they don't actually believe in anything and are purely doing it for attention. Like there's no substance to the conversation outside their willingness to get like eyes on them, you know? The big thing for this was Jackson Hinkle a few years ago when I talked to him. Jackson Hinkle doesn't believe in anything, nothing. He has not a single sincere belief. You can go watch that conversation if you want. I did a bunch of research for that convo on like Syrian war conspiracy theories vis-a-vis like chemical weapons attacks on the civilian population, and none of it mattered because he didn't believe he very obviously had no interest in actually like convincing anyone in my audience. He was purely there to like giggle at my efforts to explain how he was wrong. Yeah, he was exactly gleefully insincere, right? So in conversations like that, I get nothing from those conversations. They're not fun for me because I'm talking to a wall. There's not even like a back and forth, you know? The only person who can possibly benefit is him, and it doesn't even matter whether he wins or loses because his benefit is purely through the attention. It doesn't have like any connection to how well they do. So that's one. And for two, I just don't enjoy conversations that much if they're so stupid that there's nothing to get out of them and it's just the same shit every time. I get a lot of conversational requests like this, like all the time. Like I get debate requests all the time in email, but you have to learn to filter for stuff like this, you know? Because a boring or bad conversation is just it's worse than doing nothing, you know? So usually like this is like the filter, right? But this filter excludes like everybody. Would Eddie, the Shaggy guy, fall into that category? I went into the conversation with Eddie, the Eddie guy, that TikTok fash, the red fash. I knew that guy would be going in. I knew that guy would be incredibly bad faith going into the conversation. So I went in there also acting in bad faith. Though the way I did so wasn't with dishonesty; it was with pretending that I didn't know anything so that I could bait him into making the declarative statements about the conflict, which I had a lot of fun doing, and I think it worked out pretty well. But that was mostly because I knew for a fact that guy was a bad faith actor from the get-go. Yeah, but shit show debates are funny, though. No, it depends on the shit show. No. Everyone says that because when they envision a shit show, what they envision is like this really energetic back and forth. But if you're talking to a person who doesn't believe in anything, there isn't an energetic back and forth. There's just like they'll say something stupid and you'll go like, okay, and then you'll have to spend a bunch of time explaining why that's stupid, and then they'll interrupt you and say some other stupid thing that might not even make sense with like comparison to the first stupid thing, and then you go. And you, like it sounds like shit show debates are fun, but oftentimes they're not. And trust me, there is like an effort to be made there. Like Yankee Tanky, for example. Yankee Tanky would be a good example of a conversation that I just don't find fun. Like the Yankee Tanky is like indicative of most of the conversations I feel like I'm having, where I'm just like a homeless guy yelling on the street.